Fallout. How ironic that a show about nuclear fallout has been such a breath of fresh air. First, it must be stated that I have never played the games, and honestly, up until a few weeks ago, I thought that this guy here was Tintin. I'm a virgin viewer, if you will, and I love this show. Part 1, The Tone. This show perfectly balances comedy, fantasy, and drama, and is able to naturally flow from an otherworldly comedic sequence to an emotionally and hard-hitting revelation. And shucks, the 1950s atom punk retrofuturism is an extremely fun and adventurous setting. Mad Max meets Leave It to Beaver.
Hand me those asbestos gloves, will you, Ollie?
Part 2, The Characters. The cast is near perfection, and both Ella Purnell as Lucy and Walter Goggins as Cooper steal the show. Walton Goggins especially brings forward an award-worthy dynamic performance.
Right off you one of these cherry tomatoes, but you got a hole in your neck.
Playing the morally grounded Cooper and his nuked, cutthroat remnant, the Ghoul.
Now that right there is the closest thing we've had to an honest exchange so far.
Now recently, this has been a little contentious in media, but the diversity in this show also feels natural in the context of the world created. And the actors are all playing their characters, not themselves. This takes us to Part 3, The Politics. To say the show has no political messaging is wrong, but it's skillfully woven throughout the story, akin to cinema of old. So it doesn't feel distractively out of place in the lore. This commentary also takes aim at various facets of society and politics. Yes, there is the classic evil corporation doing naughty things, and while it has critiques on capitalism, it is more directed at the issue of monopolies. We all know the implications we're facing with social media and tech monopolies. At first, in the pre-war era, we're led to believe that it's simply a capitalism versus communism commentary. But this ends up being much more interesting than that. The lead assumed antagonist even straight up says that she is not a communist.
I'm not a communist, Mr. Howard.
And Vault-Tec in the end acts more like a cult than a company. By the final episode, Vault-Tec seems to be less motivated by money and more so by the desire to cleanse the earth of perceived social impurities, and afterwards, creating their own utopian societies out of the ashes. Then there are the questionable scientific experimentations going on.
What happened here should not be used as a case study for what happens when scientists are given unregulated control.
The obviously rigged elections. Okay, maybe best not to touch on that one. And, coming from Vancouver, there's my absolute favorite. The inept, soft leaders who believe that they can solve violent, harmful behavior simply through pandering and generosity.
The young man Woody interrogated this morning? He left an impression on me.
That is the gentleman who showed me his butthole.
Big! Yes, but what I took from that is a desire to communicate.
In summary, there is something for everyone here, and the themes presented never feel out of place or shoehorned in simply to own any one opponent or political group. Part 4, The Music. Both the soundtrack of the 50s and 60s era pop and folk songs and the original score by Ramin Djawadi are, pun intended, pitch perfect. The theme for the Brotherhood of Steel is the standout track. It encapsulates the dread and sorrow of the desolate wasteland, a once thriving world long lost to time and conflict, and the power and bulking presence of the Brotherhood, along with their medieval societal structure. Just beautiful. Part 5, The Pacing. This show never overstays its welcome, but it allows pivotal moments the time they need to breathe, an editing feat beyond the grasp of most productions these days. Now, to say it's flawless is dishonest. For example, when Maximus reveals to Thaddeus that he's indeed not Knight Titus, I feel that it went against his character to outright try and kill Thaddeus. This could have worked if his intentions were indeed not to kill him, but it became a misunderstanding. Also, in Vault 4, there are surface dwellers present, so they would know of the Brotherhood, so Maximus's armor would have been kept far more securely out of his grasp. Once again, I had no previous knowledge of the games and lore, so I'm sure there are some details I'm missing. But for a virgin viewer, this show worked, and it worked well. A solid 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10 every time Cooper is on screen. So now we've heard that season 2 is on its way, and to be honest, I'm both excited and worried. Let's hope that we don't have a repeat of Westworld. Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?